Board. There we go.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. Okay. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
I just got your thing, but I hadn't looked at it.
Okay. It's just the comments that I put on there were just minor, like typos.
Okay, good. Thank you for finding those. I really did read through that thing like 5 times, but I really got to a point where I was sick of looking at it.
I know. I think sometimes just fresh eyes helps anyway.
And then I took off like that whole front page. Okay, so did you see the email from Dr. Bullis?
I did.
Okay, so
I'm planning to leave everything the way I have it until I combine everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably will remove, I don't know if I'll take all of it off. Like I think the introductions I might, but like all the prompts, I may take those out.
Okay. I think I'm going to take out all my prompts too.
Yeah.
My only concern was that if they're going to grade it based on the rubric, I think the prompts kind of help them move through it. But I guess because we have like the headers and stuff, that should help them move through it anyway.
Right.
So,
and I saw, I mean, I understood what his justifications were for not having it. And definitely, I guess when we submit it to that website for the citation thing, I could see where,
right.
You know, it's going to come back like 50%.
I wonder, do you think that this is the first semester that they're having them do it to the turn-in website? Because, I mean, otherwise, I think that Exemplar wouldn't have had it in it either.
I don't know. The example this whole time, I feel like, has been more hurtful than helpful. But that's just me. Okay, so I'll go through yours if you want.
Okay, go for it. I'm pulling up yours right now.
So overall, yes, to all the questions. Is that good enough? I'm just kidding. Yes, it aligns with the content. You have great sources, great narrative. I just noted working with the PLC, you developed a complete action plan as outlined and articulated to the school leadership team. Working with the leadership team, you and the PLC members have implemented the research-based strategies to convince the meeting the learning needs of the students. So all that was great. Excellent leadership. Overall strengths I noted just were excellent leadership demonstrated throughout. A very solid action plan moving forward to address the identified needs. Strengths were noted. I noted I love how well you articulated. It was very easy for me to read and keep up with the development of the action plan and the discussions amongst the PLC team. Then your communication with the administration team and the questions and just what the discussion looked like then. And then the pitch to the school improvement team. It was all just easy to read and I could keep up. It was like I was there, which is good. I think that's what it should be like.
Okay, good. Was it clear in the end why the school improvement team said no to the last thing? I kept rewriting that one and I wasn't sure.
It was, I think you did such a good job explaining the goal and the overall discussions leading up to it that I don't know that you need to add anything else there.
Okay. All right.
If I read that section in isolation, maybe not, but everything, you know, all the discussions leading up to it, you know, I think it just, you don't need much more.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right.
And then no weaknesses noted. I just put only the minor errors that can be easily fixed. The other question that I had, the tables help to easily read through like the plan for each goal. I don't know if they need to be cited just differently to follow APA guidelines since it's
for the tables. Okay.
I don't know. I noted at the very bottom just to go back and look to make sure that.
Did you cite your? Because I really like how you did the
flow chart.
Yep, that's it. Did you cite that?
I cited it as a figure.
Oh, you did? Okay. Did you cite it in your appendix? Is that where you put it? I don't remember now because it's been like a week since I read your paper.
No, I just put it at the bottom, like figure 21 action plan flowchart.
Okay. I also noticed in your paper that you did a really good job of keeping track of like your charts and figures. And because at first I was like 23 and then I was oh man, now I'm going to have to go back and do all that.
Well, at first when I started for task 3, I was just guessing. I was like, I don't remember what I ended on 2. I'm just going to guess. But then I actually did go back pretty recently to make sure that I kept it flowing.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go back and do that. But so
Okay.
yeah, that's about all I have.
Yay. All right. So
Yours.
I had very few comments on yours. Like everything was just really put together. I put that it was perfect aligned to the task, all the research directly linked to the identified need. You have lots of detail about how you move through the process. And you did a really good job with your graphics. I think that that was a real strength in this task. I mean, I think you did a good job with your graphics in your task 3 too, but this one was really good too.
I fixed the flow chart because at first I really didn't know how to best create the flow chart, excuse me. And then I just Google searched like program and then went back and actually created like a much better flow chart.
It looks really good. I only saw there was like a couple like font like inconsistencies in it.
If you go back and look at it now, it looks totally different than it did.
Okay. All right. I mean, it didn't look bad. It was just that
it was driving me crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I did not like it before. I was like, I would much rather like draw this out and take a picture of it than how it was. But now it's much better. Much better. Yeah.
I mean, it was completely readable and it like did a really good job of showing like all the steps and stuff. So I thought it was really good. It's funny because this is our last one that has peer review, and I thought that this was your best submission.
Oh, well, thank you.
Far. Hey, we're all learning.
Yes, I know. Look at our progress.
Do you think we're gonna like stay in the same cohort all the way through, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, but do you think he'll change our groups? I hope not.
I hope not too. I don't know.
This is working out good for me.
We'll still have, we can still use each other.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And then all the little tiny errors, I just like made comments right on your paper for that. But like I read it against the rubric and it meets every criteria.
Thanks.
It looks good. Anything exciting happening with you?
Not really with, I mean, I say not really with work. Work is work. But my youngest broke his arm this weekend. So
oh no.
I actually took half a day off this morning to get his hard cast put on. He's in a complete, like from here to here, like 90-degree cast.
What color did he choose?
He chose light blue. He wanted light blue and dark blue. And the nurse that was doing the casting said that was fine, but I think she forgot and was just getting in a good rhythm with the light blue. And so we kind of mentioned like maybe we should just have light blue, and she was like, oh no, and so she put a dark blue like strip across the top. So but he liked it.
That's funny.
Yeah. But
funny.
Other than that, things are going pretty well. I'm just struggling with how to make decisions with kids and how to best serve kids. And it's just so many complicated issues, especially like with preschool specifically that nobody else really even thinks about because they shouldn't. But like we have a child, for example, who is 4.5. Actually, I think he already turned 5. He's not in kindergarten. He's preschool age. Goes to kindergarten next year. Buys with developmental delays regarding his overall IQ score, his cognitive functioning, his social emotional skills, as well as his language. He needs language, like speech language therapy, and probably OT as well. But he's like, so 78, I don't know how much you know about scoring, but 78 or below, like 70 to 78 is considered 1.5 standard deviations. And he's like a 75, 77 kid in every area. He is in most of the time, it's not that hard to think about, okay, well, he's going to kindergarten. We'll put him in one of our classrooms so he gets daily specialized instruction, best prepare him for kindergarten. Because most of the time our families don't provide childcare for their kids. They stay home, whatever. He is in a great childcare program from 8 to 12 in a different school district. So I'm really struggling with what to do. We don't have an itinerant teacher now, which used to be my role in traveling and serving kids in different locations. Not that we really don't cross county lines, because you can imagine how complicated that gets. I don't know, I'm really struggling. But other than that, it's what a typical day is like for me, trying to figure out just the best way to serve these kids with all the factors.
I'm almost going to say I'm sad we don't have our Zoom this week, but I'm not quite that sad.
I know, no, not.
Well, I have football duty on Wednesday, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do both. So it just worked out that we didn't have a Zoom. But I had like a situation that I wanted to talk to the whole group about. And I was curious because I deal with a lot of discipline, like a lot. And we have like a systemic racism on our campus and in our community. Like, it's really bad. And the parents and the kids don't trust administration because they feel that no one's really addressed it, nor has it ever been addressed like at the county level as well.
Right.
And so I just keep hitting against a lot of that. And because I am white, I obviously, like from the get-go, have a disadvantage.
Right.
And so
it just makes things harder because you're already thinking about,
well, and they distrust me like automatically. And so then it's like, like when I try to do something, when something happens, it's like I can never please everybody. It's just like a crappy situation.
I know. I almost wonder, I think it would be really neat if, especially being at the high school level, and I don't know what the parameters are around this, but like establishing a core, almost like school court in a way.
So they do have stuff like that. So it's called restorative justice. I'm really interested in it. And I started training on it in October, and then I finished the training in February. But nobody is interested in implementing it here.
Gosh, I would think if, you gave the students a little bit more, leadership in looking at discipline and, evaluating their peers, and it being, same race, if you could have a core group that's very diverse to be able to almost like a team of people working with, you or with administrators to talk through. And that way it's not just coming from you because you're a white female.
Yeah. And my daughter said that that's what they had when they were in college, and she served like one semester on it. And she thinks it can be very effective, but like nobody wants to do it. And I was just curious to hear what other schools were doing if they were even doing anything to combat it. Like we have so they formed this task force at the county level of cultural awareness, but it's like just showing videos to the principals, like that's not going to do anything.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's
Do
like
you have
such a
any
joke.
African American administrators?
No. No. No, we have very few African American teachers. It makes it really hard.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
would say our county's pretty I mean, I can't see who's calling me, but I would say it's pretty comparable. So I'm curious. I don't know. I don't know that it's that way. I haven't heard stories of that, like dealing with that, but we also don't have very many students either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're predominantly white
Yeah.
district.
Well, we used to be, but I mean, now, like, more than 35% of our school is Black and Hispanic, which is not typical for our area.
Right.
And so it's changing, and it's people aren't handling it the way that they should, you know.
Right.
And so it's just.
I know Gina's in elementary school, but I wonder if some of the other students in our cohort are at like a high school level.
Yeah, like JD, I know he's at a high school, and Eric obviously is.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of the other like African American, our cohort. If they were at a high school level, what they might do, what advice would they have? Could be a good resource, but I don't know what levels they're at.
Yeah, and like we have a lot of parents that are whose children are mixed, and those are actually the most difficult parents that I have to deal with.
Wow. My small group Bible study, we talked a lot about this actually this past week, just about the overall barriers, and that we think of it's talked that racism and stuff is all of the past, but we were arguing that it's almost, I feel like at times, like more prevalent today in some ways than it has been, and how to kind of work through those barriers and what that looks like. But I'm sure
I think that in the United States we always play the blame game, because so there's such a divide economically. And so each group who is not feeling like they're supported, or that that they're feeling successful, blames the other group for their lack of success or whatever, and then that just keeps us divided. So it makes it difficult. Yeah, and then the kids hear this. I mean, they hear it at home, and they hear it on the news, and they see it on social media, and then they bring all of it to school with them. And then it all plays out here, like at the pep rally, like it did on Friday, and and every single day it's how it plays out. And I can't believe that parents think that their kids just come to school and they are in class and they learn together, because it's really not like that.
Oh gosh, I would think, like I said, that school, I was a part of like school court, I don't even remember what it was called, but at the middle school level, but I would think that would certainly be helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, well, I've got to go because I have
all right,
school's getting out. All right.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I guess it is that time.
It is.
Okay, I will stop our recording, and I'll upload the links for us.
Okay, thanks. This is our last peer review.
Oh, wow. It's almost sad and exciting. Talk to you later.
Okay.